People test things when they're unsure, right? Let's say you're interacting with a woman. If you tell her that you're masculine, you tell her that you're dominant, that's the impression that you want to give of yourself. And she has to hear it before she feels it, then she's going to test you. If she just feels it, she's not going to test you because she's sure about it. Now, there are going to be certain things about your appearance versus your presentation that can throw things off. And sometimes this separation, this slight deviation between the two, between your presentation and your program, can be something that either entices a woman in further because it comes off as mysterious, or it could be something that causes a woman to see you as somebody who likes to play games or who plays both sides, who's on the fence. So, like on one hand, you can be mysterious by also having things outside of sex that you're into, things outside of just dealing with a woman, things outside of just work, having hobbies, having passions that show that you have, a more in touch with your emotion side about yourself, right? But at the same time, you don't just overly throw that at a woman and present that to her to try to sell yourself to her. It's one of those things where a woman can see and notice those things about you, and then she wants to ingratiate herself into that. She wants to see what you're about. Like another aspect to understanding this is, let's say you're talking to a woman, you're dealing with a woman. Like I say, a woman needs to be too busy trying to pass your test to have time to test you. But a big part of it is this right here. A woman's social programming will, like more and more, both men and women are learning more game. So what's going on these days is that women are beginning to learn more about the game that men have once men became aware of women's game. And what goes on is that their social programming gets a boost, right? And then when their social programming gets a boost, then when you do the things that based off of your program or based off of your dynamic with a woman that would be necessary to maintain, sustain, or grow the attraction, those may be things to where a woman will feel that longing, feel that desire, feel that missing you, feel that desire to go back into her, feminine energy. And instead of going along with that feeling, what she'll do is she will get offended because she recognizes that it's a strategy that's supposed to have her in her feelings and to have her in more of a position of longing for you. If you know that you're going to reward a woman for putting in work, then it's a situation where her longing for you is a good thing. See, that doesn't work for us with men with women because for most women, they don't have a good frame of reference at time of when it is to reward somebody for their good work or how to treat somebody, how to treat a man in a way where she understands what a man thinks, but not just on a level to know how to manipulate a man, but knows what a man thinks on terms of how to really be what makes that man feel appreciated. So there's different things at play here. There's different things at play. But you have to know how to navigate certain things. You have to know how to navigate a conversation. And when a woman tries to steer the conversation, it's not about getting mad at her because when you first understand shit tests, you may start getting mad because it's disrespect. And because, or when you first learn female nature, you'll get upset because you realize that it's disingenuous, it's not completely honest. But as much as disingenuous, it is her being true to herself because she's just being a woman, right? So when you're these different scenarios, it's like there's a way to move past it beyond just getting upset, but it's difficult sometimes. It's difficult. It's difficult to do unless when you get sexually integrated or when you get further along. Like when you just meet a brand new woman, it may be easier to just be like, yeah, fuck this bitch, I'm out of here, or just to play it off as cool. I don't care anyways. All I'm doing is fucking. But when you really have feelings for a woman, and she's already grown accustomed to you being there for her, mostly empathetic, sympathetic and understanding for you to be there for on a regular basis, that's when you carry yourself in that particular way. Not only is it going to be more difficult to do it because you care about her, which is where emotional discipline comes in, but it's going to be even more difficult to do it because her own social programming will call you out for doing things that are necessary to maintain the dynamic, and then she will get upset. And that's why it's important to vet a woman out to make sure you get to a certain place within your process, within your program before you become committed to a woman, because these things are necessary. Another reason why it's really important for a woman to feel you, using the biology first approach, a lot of that is really about giving a woman an opportunity to feel you first. Like, you use your mouthpiece, you seduce that woman, not in no long term, drawn out seduction type of way. There's a strategy I have for that, but that's not what I'm talking about. But you just speak directly to that freak in her. You speak directly to the slut that's inside of her because she can be it for somebody. Just make sure that if you want her to be your woman, she has to be that for you. So it's just like when you have that understanding, you say, okay, cool. Give her an opportunity to experience this. After she's experienced it, she's enjoyed herself, then you could explain it to her later. And if you explain what she's experienced to her after the fact, and she didn't expect to experience that, then you give yourself a certain level of credibility in your leadership skills through sex. Next thing you know, you can push that further and further and permeate it out into a relationship until you hit certain points where social programming may be too strong. And that's where, you have to, either walk away or you got to get your game even tighter, nigga. So, you know, yeah, use a test.